Yo, and this, yeah, and this actually applies to everything, like any job, any like. Chances are, most people that are wondering, like, when it comes to an entrepreneurial route or whatever it may be, they're totally like, if I'm working this hard already, what on earth could it take to succeed at that?
Yeah.
And they're just over complicating it entirely. So it's like the amount of, I don't know, slave labor that you're doing, or morals that you're selling, or whatever it may be, like chances are you're probably working like way harder than kids making six figures a month doing any online business, or really anything. I think that's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah. Because they're not spiritual. They're trying to figure
Oh
out
yeah,
something.
that's where it really goes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're trying to spiritually work and solve a problem physically.
Yeah. So
it's not.
So apostle that we listened to once said, you can't fight spiritual matters from a worldly standpoint. Like this, like you'll never be smarter than yourself. Like you can never be smarter than your true self. And our true self is not this body, it's not this flesh, it's not even this mind or this brain. Like my brain, it's called my brain. It's not called, me. My body is my body. It belongs to me. My brain belongs to me. Then who am I, right? I'm just a spirit.
Yeah.
I'm a spirit created in the image of God, and people don't even know what that word means when they say image, but it's a lot more than just a visual representation. It's made with a lot of the same, in an analogy standpoint, genetic makeup, whether that be a spiritual makeup, natural, like your natural instincts of human nature that are made in his image, different things like that, right? So it's like, with that being said, like you can't use this flesh or this mind that belongs to you in a spiritual, when it comes to spiritual matters. A lot of people try to fight spiritual matters with their human mind that's not even qualified.
Yeah. And
not even qualified to deal with that
They
situation.
think physical matters are only physical. Like, oh, how am I gonna escape the job I'm doing if it's not, giving me the results I want? Oh, all I do is I just meet a bunch of weird people. Oh, all I do is I just have this messed up job situation. But that's completely your own spiritual perspective on what you're focused on what you want to do. If you want to change who you meet, if you want to change what you do, that has to be a perspective you see spiritually first, mentally, before it can become physically real. So if you try to logically, come to that conclusion of what to do, you're not going to be able to, because you're fighting a spiritual matter physically.
Yeah,
like,
that makes so much sense, and people think this is just like some random ass jargon, but like there's literal proof that like I can live in the exact same place as someone else and have an entirely different experience, like
right.
Entire different circle, different friend group, different things that I see in my day-to-day, like different connections, different relationships, an entire different reality. Like I literally can meet someone in the same city that tells me like life is hard, I have shitty friends, I don't know how to connect with the right people, I don't know what to do for work, I don't know this, I don't know that. And it's like I wouldn't either if God didn't think for me, but like I just aligned who I was, with him, and then the awareness of knowing that this isn't even me, my spirit is just a branch of God. Knowing that is like, not only that offers the most divine spiritual assistance and the guidance that you're looking for, but it also just offers discernment. So that's what he was saying, is that discernment doesn't happen when you're so weak in the spirit and you're trying to use worldly discernment on spiritual matters. It doesn't work. It's like trying to do it's like trying to answer like it's like trying to write an English essay to solve a calculus problem when you're in calculus class. Like you're in the wrong class, you know what I mean? You're trying to answer the questions on your science test with algebra answers. They have nothing to do with each other. Your discernment in the spiritual sense, when it comes to spiritual matters, has to be used with the spirit.
Right.
Your worldly flesh can't comprehend what's in that realm and how that realm even works until it's first filtered from the voice of God to the spirit to the subconscious to the conscious, and that conscious is what's going to be the entire perception of your reality. So when they say altering your reality through your mind, through your spirit, that's what they mean by that. It's like a, step by step. And then when you're praying and you're speaking back out, and it starts from the physical, it goes back up the ladder. It starts from your perception of your reality, your consciousness, your subconscious, your spirit, then to God, right? So that's how that works. Like, that's amazing right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, long story short is that, like, people think that, when I was saying, like, meeting someone in another city that, or in the same city, that says like this and this about their life, and I'm like, nah, life is not hard. Life is abundance. Everything is like so prosperous and like enlightening. The connections I have are amazing. I have great people in my circle. Everything that I see, radiates with signs of prosperity and blessings and like happiness and excitement and fulfillment. That's my reality. That's the reality I live. That might be in the same place as someone else that feels the entire opposite. And that's because they're in a spiritual warfare they're not aware of.
Right.
So they're trying to use their human comprehension on a spiritual matter.
It's not because we're in a high rise in Tampa. It's not because we're making more money than most people ever do with their job. I mean, that helps obviously, but that was created not because of.
And they don't even know I've been happy as hell when I was broke.
Right. No.
Like
exactly,
I did the habits, the seeking the right things, the reaching out to the Lord, the habits, the routines, the taking it super serious as to what I let my mind intentionally focus on when I had nothing.
Yeah, that's where your life comes from. It's not that the spiritual matters come from your life. It works the other way around. Like, your life comes from your spiritual perspective.
Dude.
You're standing with your true self. That's where it comes from. So if you want to change your life, you have to change how aware you are of who you are.
Exactly.
And how you were made in literally the image of God, like we said.
And this goes into an insane point, because once you study this stuff and live it for so long, it becomes common sense. I don't know if you ever heard the saying, common sense is just... No. Wisdom is just common sense at an uncommon degree. Once you get it, it's common sense, because it's there's a difference between revealed knowledge and learned knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Revealed knowledge is you just learning something that has always been, and that you've always technically known if it wasn't for your flesh. Right. Without your flesh, you know everything. Your spirit is connected to the Most High, infinite source of intelligence, quite literally.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes you forget that is whenever you're put through this filtered veil of your flesh. That's the only way you forgot. You didn't just learn something new. You just remembered who you are the whole time. And all of this stuff that we're breaking down, wisdom, whether it may be, biblical things, those are things that are sent to remind us someone that we've always been. And this is crazy because it goes into something Myron Golden talks about, the be, do, have mindset. That's an example to me that now sounds like common sense, but it's super, unfathomable to most people. The be, do, have mindset. A lot of people are stuck in a...
Do.
A lot of people are stuck in a have, do, be mindset. They think that they have to have... the money, the high rise, the friend group, the this, the that, before they can even do the things that make them become who they want.
Right, that's ass backwards, bro.
Ass backwards entirely. You're not gonna, I could do that if I had this.
Yeah.
And then I would do that to become who I... No. It's completely backwards. You have to be, because being is nothing but a source of... is nothing but a sense of awareness.
Right.
Enlightenment, awareness, the identity that you wear, the way you carry yourself, the way you think, what you seek, what you would, you know what I mean? Like that's who you are. The be is what causes you to naturally do the things that naturally result in having the outcome.
Yep.
It does it for you right there. It's just the be part is the first trigger of the automation.
Right.
The first trigger of events is the becoming who that does what that in turn has, etc. Insane, right? And that is the answer to basically almost everything, actually.
Yep.
Because people are like, yeah, I would do different, I would do better, I would if I had this, but I'm disqualified to be who I'm supposed to be because I don't have something first to back up the claim.
Right.
You're trying to find a foreign god that's more powerful than God himself to qualify you and finally let you know that you can now be who you want to be. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You're trying to find something that you believe having faith in offers more strength than having faith in God. That's what that is. You're trying to look for external worldly monetary sources of acknowledgement that will acknowledge the claim that you now have permission to do what it takes to become somebody. When it's completely backwards, it's completely backwards. Isn't that insane how I just broke that down, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It comes down to that. It's like if you were spiritually tied and connected to intentionally seeking, because there's a quote I said as well the other day that was like, the more I sought for myself, I found God. The more I sought after God, I found myself. That's crazy, right? When I really wanted to find out who he was, it revealed myself. When I really wanted to find out who I was, it revealed him. And it's crazy. I'm trying to explain that. Does that make sense? Like, I'm trying to break that down, how that even makes sense.
No, you're going on point right now.
Because
I hope they're getting it.
Because that's the trick. If people want to know, okay, how do you even do this be, do, have mindset thing?
Yeah.
Well, you have to seek God. You'll know who you are. You have to seek who you are. You'll know who your Father is. If there's a certain thing that happens when you do that right there that gives you like an absolute reboot mentally and spiritually to actually get these downloads of knowledge, where now it makes sense to, okay, that's who I am. That makes sense. That's who I am, which means when I pair it with these intentions, these desired outcomes, this, and this, it naturally just makes me do these things that result in the outcome that I want. So then it's like, what's the excuse there? Because God's grace a lot of times comes in forms of adversity, things to discipline you subconsciously. You think like, oh, this is hard, this is terrible, these adversities are just so much. And it's like, God wants you to have everything, but you know what he also really wants you to have? He really wants you to have a testimony. Because that's how he's big on proving points.
This is the part. He wants you to have a testimony, right? In order to show the power of, one, how powerful you really are, that people can see and be inspired by it. And two, to show what happens when you gratefully accept and you're obedient to what he gives you to create the testimony, which are tests, because that's how testimonies work, right? They're tests first.
Exactly.
And then you gotta study, you gotta take the test.
Ain't no testimony without that test.
Yeah, you gotta take the test first, and you gotta keep taking it until you ace that to the point where you're graduating down to the new grade where he can give you new tests to make new testimonies. But a lot of people see the test and they're like, I can't take that test. Like, it's just not.
Yeah, this test is too hard.
Right,
God hates
right,
me. He's
yeah,
forsaken me. Like,
right.
if he was real, I wouldn't be going through this.
Right.
He's like, no, yeah, you're going through this because I'm real.
Literally.
Because I'm there. Because if I was to just give you everything and make life perfect, would that be considered true love? Would you truly be able to glorify the Father if everything was perfect? You wouldn't even believe you definitely wouldn't believe he's real if everything's perfect, because you think that it's all because of you that everything is perfect. You're going to think self-righteously that, oh, I don't even need God. Everything's fine. I have no problems. I have no stress. Everything worked out great. Okay, if everything worked out great, how are you supposed to learn? How are you supposed to learn like a dependence on him? How are you supposed to learn who he is in your life? How are you supposed to meet that rock at the bottom if you've never been there?
Right.
If you've never been there, how do you know what it looks like when you only have him, what he really does?
When you realize when you're at the bottom that you realize he is the rock at the bottom.
Right.
And then that's what you can really build off of, because you don't want to build up anything that's not the rock at the bottom.
Yeah, because I used to think like unlucky situations was just me being unlucky, when really that was me being lucky, because Unlucky is everything went how I wanted it to go versus how God intended it to go, and basing everything off my own will, and then never knowing God because I just thought it was because of me. Everything went accordingly. I'd be really screwed because I wouldn't understand. I wouldn't have the wisdom to comprehend the navigation of these tests he hands you. I wouldn't be able to understand his language when he speaks to me. I wouldn't understand what he uses in this realm to speak to us. There's a language he speaks to us, and it's scattered throughout the Bible. He uses signs, miracles, and wonders. People don't have a clue what those look like when their spirit hasn't been developed and matured enough, which comes from adversity, character building, seasons, down seasons, mid seasons, highs and lows is where that stuff is developed, the integrity that required to then trigger your spirit to actually understand these signs, be looking for them. It sounds like so complex, but it's actually so basic.
I want to give them this, bro, this breakdown real quick. So you said signs, miracles, and wonders, which is so true, because he'll put these things in front of you on a daily basis in all different types of ways. But just like if I asked you, how many blue cars did you see today? You definitely don't know how many blue cars you saw because you weren't looking for them. Being able to actually have that mindset and the awareness of looking for those things in the first place allows you to see them, and when you do see them, you have to be grateful for them, even if there's something that you might not be getting direct like entertainment or enjoyment from. Maybe it's just something that you recognize as a test that allowed you to go through something to be able to build your character, build your mindset, allow you to be in a place where you can get closer to God, essentially. And then when you do exercise that gratefulness, what does that do? It allows him to give you more things to be grateful for. And then soon enough, you'll be living a life that you're more grateful for than you could have ever imagined. But you have to stay grounded in the sense that you realize that stuff wouldn't be happening unless it was given to you. Because it's not yours, it's just what you're given to have stewardship over.
Wow,
right?
What you're given.
Yeah.
Gifts. That's a big one there too. Because most people, that's a big one right there all in itself. Because like a gift, these are all gifts. You've been gifted so much that you've been gifted more times than you can count, talking about how terrible your life is.
Right.
Like, imagine your parents get you a brand new bicycle for Christmas, tell you, take good care of it, and one day we'll buy you a car, or maybe we'll buy you something else, right? And then you get it, and you're like, you get off of it after riding with your friends, you throw it in the dirt, it's got mud on it, they tell you to set it up in the garage so it's out of the weather, instead you throw it in a ditch just for the hell of it, you don't care about it, you don't take good care of it, it's all trashed, right? You trashed it.
And that's the equivalent of like
what does that represent to the parents that got it for you, or whoever got it for you, Santa Claus, whatever? What's that say about your perception of that gift? It says you're entirely ungrateful for it. They're going to say, oh wow, so you expect us to buy you anything ever again, versus you do exactly the obedience part of it. It sounds crazy because it sounds corny when it comes to following rules, but you don't understand what that gets you. Like, you're supposed to take care of things you were gifted anyway, like your body or whatever it may be, right? Like, you take good care of it like you were told. He's like, okay, cool, I can trust you with the small things, I must be able to trust you with the big things, right? That's how it goes. If I can trust you if you can't be trusted with the small things, why are you expecting to be trusted with the big things? People say that, like, they may be grateful for this or grateful for that, and it's like, grateful is a verb. It can also be used as a verb. Being grateful for something can be used as a actual showcase of physical actions. Like, how do you look? Do you look like you're grateful for this? Like, how are you treating the thing you were gifted? You didn't even have to have that. Like, you didn't even have to have 2 arms and 2 legs. You didn't even have to wake up today. You didn't even have to take another breath. You didn't even have to have a single family member. You didn't even have to be born in a first world country. You didn't have to do that. That didn't have to happen for you. That's a gift. The chance of you being born is like, what, 100 billion trillion to 1 or something like that? One in like 100 billion trillion or something crazy? Yeah. Like, the chances of you being born is in the mega trillions. 1 out of mega trillions. And you know what I mean? It's like, this world has done such a good job at like completely conditioning humans to view the creator of the universe as like a cliche idea, like a theory, an interesting folklore of a fictional theory, that they don't even realize how much better off they would be pairing up as, pairing up with the Creator. Like whenever we go into this life, it's like we're in this together. Like you want to pick your teammates for like the kickball game. It's like you haven't even given yourself the chance to see what it would be like if you chose the Creator as your teammate.
Right.
Like you don't even know what that looks like. You haven't even tried. Most people that have done it and succeeded have failed more times than you even tried.
Exactly. Yeah, that part.
The people that are envied by lower level thinkers have literally failed more than you've even tried.
Mm-hmm.
They think, oh, they got lucky. It must be easy for them. They must just because they it's always something to try to justify why you're in your position and other people are not. It's always like oh well, he could do that, but I decided I didn't really want to have a prosperous life, or oh, he may be able to like do this and that. It makes sense for him. He grew up all nice peaches and cream, like, which is entirely false. Entirely false. Chances are me, Mateo, most people that are mega millionaires now, chances are they've not only failed more than most have tried, but have gone through a lot more rough of a upbringing than those who, have never even tried. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a nice little closeout to the message there is be, do, have. And when it comes to be, do, have, a lot of people are trying to be a victim that just thinks that they have to wait to have something to now do non-victim things. Like, no, you just have to not be a victim at the first part of it. Then your mentality naturally seeks for you. It does half the work for you. Whenever you make a decision, mentally, spiritually embody this specific identity of who you want to be, half the work is done for
How you already are, who you are.
Who you truly are. Like,
You are.
yeah. It's simpler than even that. It's simpler than even that. It's whenever you be who you really are, and who you really are with the awareness of being made in God's image is the most utmost, or I don't know if I said that correctly, but the utmost highest potential possible, because we're talking your Father is the creator of the universe that manifested an entire planet with a word. You who you really are is going to be in correlation to who he is.
And
you actually are.
He knew you by name before you were even born. Like, that's exactly how.
Wow, that's insane.
How crazy, like.
That's insane.
Specific he
is
about
insane.
Who you are and who you.
That is crazy.
Were
right
made
there.
in the image of, who you can be if you choose to.
Because I really never, I constantly learn more and more about myself, but I can't even remember a time in my life when I've been like, absolutely, like, I wonder who I am, like, by seeking, like, I don't even know, it's like by seeking those things, it's just natural, like, who you naturally are at the beginning is, but there's so many things in this world to distract you from who you are and where you've come from. There's so many things like distracting you from, like, it's probably to the point where you're like, I wonder, after listening to this, who should I be? What should I think about? Well, it's like, if you're trying to figure that out, that's why I say seek the Father and you'll figure it out easily. Because he'll just start thinking for you and bestowing upon you messages and signs and wonders to tell you exactly who you are. That's nuts. But yeah, be, do, have mindset. You become the person that naturally will. Half of the work is already done when you do that. Naturally do the things that naturally result in the outcome that you want to have. Phenomenal. Anything else?
Only thing I can think of is how a lot of people want to give credit to and really try, and I say that word lightly because I don't really try to say try, like, that's not really my vocabulary, but they genuinely try to be who they know they are while still holding on to who they have allowed themselves to act like while they're trying to step into that be part, right?
Whoa.
Because if you have that part of yourself that you're physically depending on as like a, comfort teddy bear blanket of like, oh, I can't let go of this until I have everything that
I can't let go of this until
right.
I can't be someone different until I have something.
Right? Like, that's cool.
That's crazy.
You can understand and realize that you are who God made you to be, who you really are, right? But that requires you to do something that most people will never do, and that's actually completely let go, forget, and kill the idea, not even just the actual identity, but even the thought of being who they aren't anymore.
That's crazy.
You know, and that's a really uncomfortable thing to do. That takes a lot of trust, that takes a lot of faith, and it's going to be painful. It hurts because you're not sure at first of exactly what you're supposed to do, right? But as you know, the actual actions start to light the path of what you do, as you get more integrated in who you're being, right, who you're becoming, as you practice that more and more, that's where it comes in. That's where you start to do and have at that point. But you really have to let go of the whole identity, like entirely. With 0% integration anymore,
entirely,
until you can really start to do the things
entirely.
Like that's the part that a lot of people forget. You have to really let that.
Because what's
go.
the secret key that Jesus has said numerous times? Everyone has said numerous times. There's one secret key, right? There's one secret key that makes everything work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's, what did he say? What has to be just the size of a mustard seed to move a mountain?
Yep.
What does?
Your faith.
Your faith.
Yep.
How did he tell his disciples to go heal people? How did that work? Why were they able to do it?
Because they had faith.
Because they had faith, they were able to heal people.
Yeah.
And people were like, bro, what kind of absolute sci-fi fictional unseeable source is this? And it's like, that's what we're trying to say, is that like the physical realm is about 5% of your reality.
Yeah.
The physical realm is like 5% of what's actually happening in front of you at all times.
Yeah.
You don't even know that like these third dimensional laws of physics like are literally a tiny little grain of salt compared to like the actual world of you know, reality itself. There's so much more going on, like, and they don't want you to know that, obviously, because then there'd be no slavery in current times, but like that's the point of it. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works. The faith alone and the act of faith alone of being able to surrender this, because what you're doing when you're so tied on this like identity or this job that's not good for you, or fulfilling things for demons, or being around energy vampires because it's convenient to what, maybe your finances or something that's, you know, those things are nowhere near as worth as valuable as your spirit. Like all these things that you're basically a sellout for have to be let go entirely out of faith that God will provide a solution and a way out, because he always does. It always does. When you do something like that, he always does. The only time people wonder like, oh, is he even real, is because like you're totally not taking things for what they are. Like, you have to remember things happen for a reason. Whenever you think everything happens to you just because you know, oh, God doesn't like me, like, okay, well, God also gave you free will. So whenever you declare something over your life, you actually are such a divine being with authority to do so that he can't really change that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy?
It really is.
Holy shit, I almost forgot about this, because somewhere in the Bible he says that God doesn't send people to hell, which means as it is on earth as it is in heaven, he also doesn't send people to hell that are alive here on earth. But people do live in hell here. But they chose that.
Yeah, they created that.
Because what God said was, he said, I gave you guys free will. It's a promise. I wrote it down so you didn't forget. I told you have free will. Now you always have me here, but you also have free will, because I want to feel true love. God said, I want to feel true love, a true connection, you know, real fulfillment. If I just forced you to be an angelic being of greatness and righteousness and everything was happy-go-lucky, then would there really be like true love, or would you just be like spoiled at that point? Because you have to operate without ever seeing your Father in the physical realm, and it takes faith and courage and all these other things to actually form that connection and that bond. Mm-hmm. Which is so much more powerful than any connection that like an angel could have to God whenever they see him straight up in the, you know, in the actual, you know, literal sense, right? So where I was going with that was where was I going with that? I was saying like the act of faith, and then I was saying something else right there.
You were going off. I can't think of where you're going though. Like,
I was going like the act of faith. Yeah, it's like you have to. But anyway, yeah, you have to give up the things that you know are not good for you, in the
Right.
act of faith, knowing God will provide, because
Yeah.
it's like
you will.
because he will, and it's not even like I'm trying to, because I always like to bring like some undeniable, like absolute breakdown of arithmetic to back up that, because it doesn't, because the way I'm gonna do my teachings, how I've done them so far, is like there'll be no way for it to not make sense, so there's no way for you to not believe now.
Yeah. No.
Because
no,
it's
yeah.
not, because I'm not even saying that out of like, that's out of faith, but I'm saying faith has triggered proof
Right.
in my life.
That's how it works. Yeah.
In most people's life that have made it to this point in the spirit, that faith is not the only reason that shit works out and that you get it now.
No, of course not.
Faith
Without
is
works.
what will, faith without works, right? But faith will, and you might be able to chime in on the correlation to that one, because I kind of forget how that one goes, but I was going to say that faith will trigger events to happen in your life that give you proof now.
Yeah.
It first required faith only. Then, when it started to actually click, stuff started happening. Coincidences, synchronicities, signs, miracles, wonders,
Right.
things
right,
aligning
right.
in the path of light.
Yeah.
He literally says in that verse, "You're the what? The light to my what now? He was like the light to my path, right?" And it was like, whenever your path is lit now, and all of a sudden you're like, "Wait, what did I do before all this started making sense? Oh, I had faith. That's right. Now I know who he is. He's showing me himself, because he won't just show you if you don't believe him.
Yeah.
You don't believe he exists. That's you know what I mean. That's not how it works. So I'm just saying, it's not like you have to live your whole life just on like faith, and you never actually get to see some real evidence. There's way too much evidence to make it to where it's impossible not to be. Okay, I obviously have spiritual assistance from a heavenly Father.
Yeah.
It's pretty abundantly
You
clear.
have to allow yourself to see it though.
Yeah, you have to allow yourself to see it. That's why they say you have to accept blessings into your life.
Yeah.
I used to hear that years ago and be like, who wouldn't accept blessings? Like, okay, come on, like I'm ready now. Like, no, but accepting blessings into your life and accepting God into your life is a choice like you have to make. He can't force you to have a happy life that just seeks him.
No.
You know, whenever people like go to hell, like they say, however, if you believe in that, it's like, he says that's because if they chose not to live with me on earth, why would I want to force them to live with me for eternity?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they had a choice to make there, and like if they don't like me, like I'm not gonna force them to be in my house for eternity either.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's saying that was, but he tries to give us so much. He gives us, prophets, teachers, Jesus, signs, miracles, wonders to try to help us find our way back in this world. It's like an entire detour side quest of like a spiritual training ground. And he drops these nuggets to like help us find our way back, like some Blue's Clues looking. But some of the things that are going to reveal that knowledge, when I said revealed knowledge and learned knowledge, some of the things that will reveal that knowledge is an act of faith, like surrendering your false identity, surrendering your obsession over false gods,
Mm-hmm.
and idols. Idolatry is a sin for a reason.
Right.
It's a sin for a reason because you completely are putting that faith that you think is so hard to have in God, you're putting it in something that's not even a fraction of God's power. Think about that. Like that's like saying like I put more faith in this notebook than God the creator. I put more faith in my job that barely pays anything anyway, is bad for me and my family, my spiritual self, my future. I'm putting more faith in that than the one that created the universe. That's super bizarre when you break it down that way. Idolatry is a sin because you're putting literally, when in comparison speaking, you're putting absolute, like you're putting faith in like dirt compared to like the most powerful divine entity.
Mm-hmm.
Something that the only thing you can put faith in, you're putting other things, putting more faith in that, and you think putting faith in God is hard, but you're already putting faith in stuff that makes no sense. No sense, like your bad habits, your work, your slave job. You're putting faith in family members that don't know what they're talking about, that are just trying to drag you down. Like, you know what I mean? That's crazy. That's almost like I said to one person when I was like, you're already working as much as we are. You're just doing it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like you're tainting your spirit, your mental health, your mental clarity, you know what I'm saying? Your absolute, divine being. Like you're completely shitting on the gifts God gave you just because it's convenient.
Right.
But you don't understand how convenient it is to not do everything you're doing and to do what I'm doing or what he's doing or what they're doing or anything that actually makes sense from a mental and spiritual standpoint. Like I have a rule of thumb that's like spiritual and mental protection. Like if it's spiritually and mentally protecting me, so be it. If it's inconvenient or not, it's pretty damn convenient when you have your mental and spiritual self protected. Trust. And whenever you look at things in the world and you're like, well, that's not really, spiritually or mentally protecting me, then it's like, yeah, I can stand to let go of that. Like you have to be able to stand to let go of things that aren't mentally and spiritually protecting you. I think that's generally about it. I'm gonna probably chop this all up and post it. 36 minutes. Wow, that's crazy. Whole entire podcast. We should start going live like this, bro.
Yeah, I swear. Literally.
We gotta get our absolute followers up, bro, and then just start banging out
YouTube videos.
But we have to be, we have to probably, I know what I'm going to have to do for sure, because it happens to the best of us. What I'll have to do that is have a be to have mindset.
Yeah. No, facts. We're talking to ourselves right now just as much as you guys.
Oh, yeah, exactly, bro. All the music I made in the past was like my diary just for me.
Yeah.
To inspire myself.
Oh, yeah.
When I write and journal, it's just messages to myself.
Right.
The same thing. Wes Watson said the same thing. Like, it's like, that's what's insane, bro, is it's not even like, that's what's insane. That's what's freaking crazy, actually, is like, this is going to help anybody just as much as me because, like we said, like, revealed knowledge is just remembering. Humans just have a very high, like a tendency to forget easily. So pray for information retention. That's a good one.
Yep.
Pray for retention in the mind.
Yeah.
Now, retention comes much, much harder whenever there's a devil trying so hard to keep you away from it. People don't even understand that, bro. Like, we need to go back and read Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. We'll get some nice secret weapons of sauce in there because there's all this good, all this cliche, all this corny ways of how you're supposed to live, right? But like, they don't even know who the enemy is. Isn't that crazy, bro? That's what's nuts.
This is the book.
Oh, that's crazy, bro. Listen to this one. Listen to this one. This is something I've noticed when I was talking to somebody. This is nuts right here. You ready?
Yeah.
So they hear the good, do this, do that, seek this and seek that, and it shall be open to you, right? But what I figured out a disconnect right here that a lot of people have a problem with. They hear these things, and sometimes they still don't go down the narrow path right there, because they're like, oh, I can just do that whenever I want to. I mean, I can just like save this for later.
Right.
Maybe one day like this will matter to me.
Swear.
But what they don't know is who the enemy is. They don't even know that the enemy told them to say that.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah,
they don't even know that wasn't even their voice.
Yeah.
They just got lied to.
Yep.
So whenever they hear this, like, look, imagine this was a cup, right? Imagine this is a cup, and this is spiritual enlightenment being poured into it. They don't know. Look. They don't know that as it's being poured out to them, they don't know that the devil is going like this invisibly, covering that cup, and it just goes to waste.
Yep. And that cover can be made up of, oh, I don't need to do it now.
Yeah, that cover sounds like
it's not for me.
Oh, easy for him to say, oh, I'm a victim. I have excuses that justify why I can't be that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going through too much. Maybe one day, but you're the cup though.
Yeah.
But the voice of the justification to your mindset is coming from this hand that the enemy just placed over your cup to be filled with spiritual enlightenment, spiritual assistance,
understand who you are,
absolute guidance,
do what you're meant to do.
Secret sauce is attempting at all times, as much as the devil's trying to take you down, God's trying to get to you.
Yeah.
So he's trying. Other people that are sent in the world to speak to you are trying. the books that are available to you are trying. The Bible literally can be on your phone for free, trying, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not you. That's the devil's hand. Imagine this is the devil's hand. He's covering that shit up from you.
Yeah.
You don't even know who that is. See, people never seek that realm. They seek like what they're told to do, but they never seek who is desperately trying to take away their everlasting chance at salvation.
Yeah.
There's an enemy
Or even
that does
blessings.
not want you to have that.
Even just the blessings that you're.
You know what I
praying
mean?
for, literally.
Sometimes they think it's just themselves that's unlucky.
Yeah.
They think it's just themselves. Oh, if I was born differently, if I had this, if I had that. And it's like, that's literally a lie from the enemy, because you don't even, if you knew the enemy, you would know, oh, he does this. That's his whole thing. He's the first one in history to ever tell a lie. That's how he became the devil, whenever he was the most powerful angel at one point.
Right.
He was the most looked up to angel of all creation. How is he the devil? Because he told the first lie of self-righteousness, saying that he was God. But that's another story. The biggest story here is that he operates on under his biggest tool, being deception. Every justification, excuse, fear, doubt. This is to kill myself is convenient, to sacrifice my soul is convenient, to be a slave is convenient. Those are lies from the devil. He's the king of deception. So you have to realize that you just got lied to, and that's not even your voice, because your voice, who you truly are, can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. That's who you are, and he doesn't want you to know that. Yeah. He doesn't want you to know that quite literally, as written, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. He would hate for you to know that. So with any chance possible, he will perform also signs in the world to make you condition yourself that only other people can have or be who you want to be. And that is the entire sauce, front to back cover, of where to get started in your enlightenment journey, and understanding who you actually are and who is actually behind the scenes trying to take it from you, because there's an enemy trying to take it from you. You wonder why shit is so hard to understand? That's because there's someone that desperately cannot let you figure this shit out. Right. Yup. 1000%. So I think that's, the sauce for the day right there. But we got to do these more often, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. On some kingdom builders.
Yeah.